Totty staying on well past Ned Stark late on. I think there's a good chance Ned Stark will justify the market confidence today and reverse the form with Top Totty.
Well, let's have a spin through them. Ned Stark is your favourite here for Dennis O'Regan and Alan King. Return Spring, James Best rides for Philip Hobbs. Straidnahanna for Danny Cook and Sue Smith.
Kaki de la Pree is a useful hurdler and he jumps fences well, ran really well at Newbury last time. Tonvadosa did the job nicely at Kelso. This is much deeper. Ratlin is a 20-1 chance. And Top Totty, we've already mentioned her with a Merz allowance, 7-1 for Jake Greenall.
He's just getting told not to break the line. It looks like they're going to have to take it. Flag is raised.
Gareth Topham.
Tapes now. They're off. Racing away, Kaki de la Pree a little slow to get going for this, the Towton Novices steeplechase. And they've got just over 2 circuits of the track in front of them, a total of 16 fences, and it is Straidnahanna who is straight into the lead and shows up here by about 2.5 lengths early to Return Spring along the inside of Ratlin. A little wider out on the field runs Tonvadosa. And then a length and a half back to find a Top Totty in a yellow-coloured jacket to the outside of Ned Stark in the orange, and a 2 or 3 length break to Kaki de la Pree, who was perhaps just a little caught out by that standing start. So galloping left-handed off into the back straight, still yet to take a fence, and Straidnahanna, who's registered wins at Catterick and Newcastle in recent times, looking to bag a hat-trick. Showing out in front by a couple of lengths as they take off for the first time. The leader jumps well. All over it safely. Return Spring a little slow, as was Top Totty. Next fence will test them a little bit. It's the open ditch. First of 2 in the race. Straidnahanna over it ahead. And they all land safely enough over that one. Galloping on now to the 3rd. Straidnahanna bowling along by 2.5 lengths. Generous enough pace as well. Gets in a little bit close to that one to Ratlin in second. Tonvadosa didn't have a great cut at it at the back end of the field there as they now come to the 4th and final fence going down the back. Once again bypassing the open ditch right at the end of this stretch. Tonvadosa lingering in the air at the rear end of the field and lost a good few lengths there and gets a couple of early reminders from Jason Maguire just to try and wake her up a little bit as they prepare to make a left-handed turn out of the back straight. And it is Straidnahanna or trainer Sue Smith, who's also responsible for the second runner at present, Ratlin, one of 3 mares in the race. She's running along in at second as they race on towards the completion of their first mile. Return Spring back in 3rd place, looking to bounce back from a slightly below par run at Warwick last time, a competitive handicap, and then to the inside Ned Stark, who's narrowly in advance of Top Totty. That pairing actually met last time out at Cheltenham. Top Totty coming out on top that day. That was in the Dipper Novices Chase, another Grade 2 race. Kaki de la Pree is at the back end of the field as they swing on in for the first time. Tonvadosa the back marker. So they're now inside their final couple of miles. Straidnahanna in front, jumps over that slickly enough. 2 in second place on touching down at Ratlin. Sue Smith benefit at the moment with Ned Stark away to the extreme right. Then on the left in the pale blue Return Spring as they came up and over the next. Top Totty follows, then Kaki de la Pree, and seemingly with every fence Tonvadosa's losing ground and is being pulled up. Jason Maguire's had enough and Tonvadosa is out of the race. Over the next they came. Ratlin a little out to the right there. Return Spring not really done any favours, possibly unsighted. Galloping on to the fence which will be the last next time. Straidnahanna still in a uncontested lead over that by about 2 to 3 lengths. To the outside, Ratlin racing in second. They're now at halfway. 3rd to the inside is held by Ned Stark. Then Return Spring. And at the back of the field, Top Totty and Kaki de la Pree. So galloping out towards the far side of the track for a second time in today's Wetherby feature. The 320, the Towton Novices Chase. Grade 2 contest, which has got a fabulous roll of honour if you go down the years. The likes of Weird Al, Ollie McGurn, Keen Leader. Back in the 90s, S. Carter Fegan, Gold Cup winner Mr. Mulligan. They've all tasted glory in this race. As they gallop on out towards the far side, Straidnahanna is in an attempt to make every single yard of the running and still leads up by a healthy 3-length margin. Over in second place, Ratlin. Galloping off down the back. Ned Stark to the inside of Return Spring. They are in 3rd and 4th. Return Spring just edging on once again ahead of Ned Stark. And at the back end of the field, Top Totty and Kaki de la Pree. So Straidnahanna controlling the pace, jumping well, getting in a rhythm. That's what you need to do here at Wetherby, all over that safely enough. On now towards the second and final open ditch in the race. Straidnahanna 2.5 lengths ahead over that cleverly enough to in second place on the outside, rattling then Ned Stark. It's closed up a little bit now. Return Spring is off the bridle now in at fourth as they come to take another. In behind Return Spring, Top Totty and Kaki de la Pree as they head on now towards the final fence going down the back. This is 5 from home coming up in the Towton. Straidnahanna still jumping nicely to rattling Ned Stark, yet to be asked any questions along the inside. And then follows that one's old rival Top Totty in the yellow coloured jacket, also travelling with purpose. Return Spring out a bit wider, being pushed hard now, and Kaki de la Pree in rear still. Very much all to play for, though. The runners who remain exit the back straight, all holding some sort of a chance. Straidnahanna winding things up, a length and 3/4 to the good over rattling in second. Return Spring responding to a degree is to the outside in third. Then Ned Stark from Kaki de la Pree along the inside of Top Totty as they make the left-handed turn back for the home straight. Just over a half mile to go and 4 more plain fences left to jump. Can they get to Straidnahanna? Straidnahanna 2.5 lengths ahead, still got plenty of running in him. To Return Spring, who straightens up in a second place as they now eye up the first of the 4 fences up this part. On the left in the orange colours, Ned Stark being brought forward as they come to 4 out. Straidnahanna's lead stood at 2 lengths, a blunder at the back by Top Totty, which has possibly done for her now. Galloping on down towards the third last, Straidnahanna now Kaki de la Pree taking a bit more involvement on the far side, gets right into the thick of the action. Away to the left is Ned Stark. They've now booted away from Return Spring, and now Straidnahanna has a very strong challenge on either side. Away to the right, Kaki de la Pree. On the left, Ned Stark. 3 in a line at the second last. Ned Stark down the stand side of Kaki de la Pree. They now move on narrowly ahead of Straidnahanna, whose bold effort has come to little back in third. But at the final fence, Ned Stark and Kaki de la Pree. Precious little in it. Off up the running they come in the Grade 2 Towton. Ned Stark, the orange colours. Kaki de la Pree to the far side. A real ding-dong tussle as they head into the closing stages. Ned Stark from in second, Kaki de la Pree, and Ned Stark wins the Towton. From in second, Kaki de la Pree. Terrific duel between the pair on the run-in. They cleared away from Straidnahanna. A really good run in third. Further back to Top Totty, and Return Spring just lasted ahead of Rattling.